Hi everyone, Dan Weintraub here, danweintraubcoaching.com, or you can go to Amazon, type into the search Dan Weintraub books, and find my 4 books about neuro coaching. By the way, you like this shirt? This is Alpha Centauri B, I believe. Anyway, I was watching the TV show Chopped, which is, I could watch it for hours and hours, except that I do get a bit of adrenaline. I get nervous, and then I have to mute it because I don't like the physical sensation of adrenaline and cortisol. And when I say I don't like it, what I mean is it doesn't work for my physiological system, my neurophysiological and my biophysiological system. Adrenaline doesn't work anymore. So I can watch Chopped, but sometimes I have to mute it. Interestingly, there was a woman who was one of the chefs on Chopped on one of the earlier episodes. You can see that I've watched a few today. And she mentioned that growing up, as she got into her teens and early 20s, she struggled with anxiety. And being a chef, cooking, being in the kitchen, calmed her down. And that she was able to focus and feel better. Now, let's translate that into neurophysiological terminology. Noradrenaline, or norepinephrine, is generally referred to as sort of the focus neurotransmitter. It is in concert with other hormones and neurotransmitters and with our histories and our nervous systems because it's complex. So these are generalizations. It's the neurotransmitter that kind of brings you into the zone. So athletes might talk about being in the zone. So for this individual for whom whatever social situations, who knows, because I haven't spoken to her, I don't know what her history is, provokes an internal experience that is adrenal and cortisol in nature. And she might have a very sensitive internal experience when it comes to adrenaline and cortisol, because not only are we talking about what events or activities or thoughts trigger our internal system, but we all respond to those chemicals and those impulses differently. So for some people, they might have a very high tolerance for adrenaline and cortisol. Certainly, Alex Honnold, the dude who climbed El Capitan solo in like 4 hours, when they did a study of him and put all the electrodes on, was the electroencephalogram, he didn't, and it showed him scary pictures. His fear response, or in other words, adrenaline, cortisol, that was very low. So his, arguably, amygdala didn't get tricked very quickly. So for this particular woman, her amygdala might fire more quickly, or there's some process going on in which the adrenaline and cortisol has triggered her system, really struggles with it, and that can precipitate part of that feeling that we call anxiety. And anxiety is complicated, of course. But again, we lead with physiology. We don't lead with psychology. Physiology first. So what a wonderful practice she has discovered in being a chef. That being in the kitchen, even when the kitchen is busy and hectic and there are people running around and the restaurant is busy, there's something about that experience of cooking, working with food, whatever it is, that quiets her, that trips the noradrenal response and the serotonin response, sort of the well-being response, and quiets the adrenaline and the cortisol response. Now, does that mean she shouldn't take anti-anxiety medication? No, of course not, because anti-anxiety medication might work wonderfully for her. Antidepressants might work wonderfully for her. She might take, an antidepressant that sort of picks up the serotonin levels. But that can be a blowtorch type of response, and sometimes we need nuanced tweaks to our neurophysiology. And what a wonderful practice that when she goes to work, this is a very quieting and focusing, these are words, right, meaning making story, to neurophysiological terms, she has silenced to some degree her adrenal and cortisol response and raised her noradrenal and serotonin response. Brilliant. in my practice, after we talk about your history, we talk about your present, we talk about the feelings in your body, in your chest, in your belly, in your limbs, in your brain, your vestibular system, after we spend a good deal of time trying to figure out what happens when, what do you feel, what are the sensations, then we can start to experiment with different practices that may shift your physiological experience, and that precipitates a shift in your thinking. Physiology comes first. We can think and think and think and go through decades of therapy to understand what happened in our lives when we were growing up, but that may have no impact upon our neurophysiology. We have to act. And this wonderful woman, this chef, figured out that by working with food in a restaurant setting, she quieted her nervous system. It's beautiful. Anyway, danweintraubcoaching.com. And again, you can get my books on Amazon, right? Just type in Dan Weintraub Books into the search engine, and I hope to talk to you soon. Bye.